All right, Harmony Science Academy College Prep students, GSIHB5, let's go ahead and get into section 131. Topic, learning topic is radical expressions. We're continuing with radical expressions, and we're going to multiply and divide. All this means is the skills you guys have been working on, we're going to continue to use them. This is about as good a material as you guys can master moving on to college, okay? That way you need less tutoring and stuff like that, right? Because you have um, these basics, these fundamentals down, okay? Go ahead and look up these two words, just how to factor a binomial, a trinomial. What does a binomial look like? A trinomial, okay? Just kind of get an idea. That's going to help. All right, and let's go and get into it, okay? Like always, I've got 1 through 6 should be easy, 7 through 12 medium, 13 through 17 a little tougher, and then 18, 19, and 20 will be review of what we've been doing before, okay? All right, so, if you're struggling with this, be honest and, we'll pair you up with somebody, but this is something you've got to be really good at, okay? So you can be more confident in college math classes, okay? All right, so they're talking about simplified expression, which is what we did last time, but they're putting us next to another rational expression, and then sometimes we multiply, and like here 9, I'll do 9, divide, okay? But all of them are really multiplication. When you divide, you just flip them, which is cool, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started with number 1, okay? I'll try and make commentary as much as possible, but that's why we also have class time, okay? So this guy right here would be 19 times 8, 152, right? 8, 7, 152, n cubed, okay? This is 42 n squared. Now, n cubed, don't forget it means n times n times n 3 times, okay? And n squared is like this. This is the way it should have been taught to you, so that if you're struggling, you can kind of just cancel out n over n, you've got 1 on top left. Okay, here we have 152 over 42. We can divide both of them by 2 at least, right? So that gives me 76 over 21. And there's that extra n stays on top. You can play with this, see if you can reduce it further. I don't think you can. Okay, let me double check. All right, so yeah, that's as far as it goes. Now, again, 7, 8 will be pretty much what I'm going to do with 9. 9, since it's division, it just includes one extra step in the beginning, okay? So that's why I'm going to do 9, okay? Some of you guys already know, some of you guys have forgotten. All this means is I can turn it into a multiplication if I flip these two, okay? So this is very important to know. So 21v squared plus 14v times 24v plus 16 over 5, okay? So now with that little trick, it looks like the rest of them. So whenever you have to divide, guess what? Flip it and pull multiplication, okay? Now at this level, what we've got to be really good at is factoring, okay? And now factoring doesn't mean one thing. It means look at it and decide what's best, okay? Like this is factoring a trinomial. This is factoring a binomial, right? You guys should look that up. This is 2 terms binomial. This is 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, trinomial, okay? So anyways, I'm going to put a 1 on top. And on the bottom, I can see that a 7 goes into 21 and 14. But he has 2 V's and he has 1, so at least they have in common that, okay? Now, when I say factor it out, that means divide. If I divide 21 by 7, I'm left with a 3. If I have 2 V's and I took 1 out, I have 1. And then plus, same thing. If I factor out or divide 14 by 7, I get a 2. I had 1v and I took it out so there's nothing more. Okay, now same thing up here. Okay, I look at these two terms and the biggest that goes into each one is 8. Can I take out a v? Maybe from here, but not here, so no. Okay, this is the greatest common factor. And in here I'm left with 3v, and here I'm left with a plus 2. And down here just a 5. Okay, alright. So later on we're going to add and subtract, which is actually tougher, so enjoy this, okay? Now, what I have here, okay, when it comes, we're dealing with multiplication, so it's just easier, okay? Adding and subtracting is going to be tougher. But here in this case, I can just multiply class. So it's 1 times this on top. So it's just 8, 3v plus 2. And on the bottom, it's all this times this. Okay, so it's 5 times all of that. 7v, 3v plus 2. Okay, so the tops, I'm going to leave it like that for now. Plus 2. The bottom, I'm just going to combine these two up here. Okay, and if right now you're looking at these two and thinking, hey, they're the same, I can cancel them, you're correct. Okay, and you're left with 8 over 35v. Okay, we didn't solve, we just simplified, right? We had all this after doing some algebra, we made it simpler. Okay, all right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to 15. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and so I don't have to delete anything. Alright, let's work on 15. Nice and clean here. Okay, these are the more advanced. So if you, the important thing is for you to have shown confidence and mastery on the other ones, okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and go through this one. Not too slow because there's a lot going on here, but you guys should know what to do here, right? You can pause the video and take a guess what I'm about to say. Again, this is a good investment for you guys because if you go into college comfortable with this stuff, you're confident. Okay, so look, I multiplied, which means I gotta switch them. Okay. All right. Now again, these are more advanced, but that doesn't mean you quit. Okay, you just hang in here. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of stuff that they have in common. So let's, I guess, start off right here, top left. Okay. 14, 14, 14 goes into each one. So I'm left with n squared minus 2n plus 1. Down here, 7, 7, 7. So n squared minus 7n plus 6. Okay, again, I'm doing 15 for us. This guy we leave alone because there's nothing we can do. Here at 2, 2, 2. N squared minus 7n plus 6. Okay. Alright, again, these are the more advanced problems. The cool thing is this and this, you know, I'm looking at it, they're the same, not this one. So yeah, let's go ahead and factor out this, can divide out, so that's a 2, that's a 1. Okay. 14 divided by 7 leaves a 2. And down here, technically, that's a 1. Okay. Out here, I can't cancel anything yet, so let's go and continue. Now, I don't know if I have to factor them, but typically in math classes you do. So let's go ahead and factor, see what happens. Okay, this is n minus 1, n minus 1 Of course, I've practiced so I can do them faster. Some of you guys might have to do some scratch work. That's fine, okay? This one is n minus 6, n minus 1. Okay, and I can check them. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is 2. So don't forget to check them. Don't just take my word for it, okay? And this one is... I wish the 2 cancel, but it doesn't. Look what here. I forgot that too, okay? That's why make your work nice and neat. That way you can go back and check your own work, okay? I almost messed that up really bad. All right. And this one here is this one. So practice allows you to see patterns, right? Meaning, just like it's here again, later on you'll see this again in another problem. And that's what makes math people pretty good at math, just practice, okay? All right. I do see a 2 here and a 2 here that's going to cancel. That's cool. So let's talk about stuff that cancels. There's an n minus 1 here and 1 here. Bye. Let's cancel him and him, right? Because this is basically... multiplication is cool, right? It's pretty simple. So stuff getting canceled. Here's an n minus 1. Here's an n minus 1. Okay, anything else? Can I cancel him and him? You can pause the video and think about it. Okay, good. If you said no, good, because they're both on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to have n plus 7 over n minus 6. I can write it again here, or I can put a square since I am multiplying it times itself twice, okay? And that is it, okay? So we are, at least my part is done. We'll go ahead and answer anything and deal with anything else in the classroom, okay? Again, take it slow, build your confidence, and build your abilities in math. See you in class.